I always say the three most important marathons ever run were the 1896 inaugural Olympic marathon in Athens, Greece, the 1976 first five-borough New York City Marathon, and that kicked off the urban marathon explosion. And then the third one was the 1998 inaugural Rock and Roll Marathon in San Diego. That was the next huge game changer in the sport, and it hasn't stopped since.
Welcome to Balboa Park on this Father's Day 1998. You are looking at history in the making. Nearly 20,000 runners from around the country and the world have come to San Diego to run the inaugural Suzuki Rock and Roll Marathon.
Well, so the whole idea was to have music every mile and to have a big concert at the finish so that you'd have something to celebrate with the party. It started with Tim Murphy, the founder of the Rock and Roll Marathon series. Running was his passion, and he had that sales knack and the creativity, and it all just came together.
Hi everybody, Tony Revis along with Steve Scott. Welcome to the inaugural Suzuki Rock and Roll Marathon. You know,
when Tim first suggested doing this, and he was all in on it, I didn't get it. I didn't, really? Really? Bands along the side of the course? In San Diego? No, I soon realized that it was working when entries started pouring in.
We started marketing about 16 months in advance of the first race, and it was the 100th running of the Boston Marathon. And so Tim had kept it all very hush-hush, and this was the big announcement. So he rented a stretch limousine, and he had a Elvis impersonator, and we had big entry forms, and I'm talking like poster-sized entry forms that said, "You missed the first Boston, don't miss the first rock and roll." We caused quite a little stir at Boston. I'm not sure they were really happy getting hijacked, but they've gotten over it 20 years later.
It is enthusiasm. That's what it's all about.
if there is a heart to the Suzuki Rock and Roll Marathon field.
Rock and Roll San Diego was the start of the second running boom, in my opinion. The first running boom, many people will say, was Frank Shorter's gold medal in Munich. This population was a little different. This is now the moms, and then also the people that maybe had done sports before, and they're coming off the couch. And then there's people that never done it before in their life, and it was a lifelong goal. Rock and Roll San Diego offers that opportunity. Run the race, finish the race, and then they are now a marathoner. And now you're the top 1% of the world population when you do that.
So that morning in 1998, finally it hits me, because you could see the start area, the lights, the cameras, the music, the people. It almost brought tears to my eyes. The electricity coming from the crowd, it was pretty awesome, because I thought, we're all gonna run this marathon together.
First thing I remember about the starting line is it just went on and on and on, and corrals after corrals of people, and just massive. I just never seen that many people in one spot.
I recall just waiting, and the wait seemed interminable.
I had quite a big delay race morning. I was working with the bands and I was in a different area.
The word got around that there were some cars that were parked on the course. The police would not clear the course.
It was about 78, 79 degrees, I checked, at the starting line. It got delayed exactly 39 minutes. I know that for a fact, because I looked at my watch.
It's quite a starting grid. And we are off in the inaugural Suzuki Rock and Roll Marathon. It's just a stunning grouping, James.
Well, when the gun went off, I thought, wow, finally, I get to really do the thing. I really get to do it. I mean, I knew I was out for a big adventure, and I was all in for it.
The inaugural Rock and Roll Marathon in 1998 opened the sport of running to the activity of running. People would run, but they wouldn't go into a race because they were intimidated by putting a number on, being in the spotlight. Once you got the idea that there was going to be music out there, it was going to be supportive of everyone, the intimidation factor for the first time was erased.
Back in the day, most marathons were 70% men or more, and we totally flipped it the first year to have 55% women, and a lot of those came in with Team in Training.
8,000 of them were the runners in the purple shirts. You got another side of things where now you're actually doing a charity run and raising money for a great cause, which is curing cancer.
At the time, it was the largest one-day fundraising of any sport ever. They raised $15 million that first year.
Go Team, which is our big cheer for Team in Training. Thank you signs that were always touching to me. People would hold up signs, thank you for saving my life. I would remember touching my bracelet and thinking, I'm doing this for somebody else. I'm not doing this for me.
But the thing about the marathon, and it still holds to this day, it's just too darn far. So it's at the very end of our grasp. But what are hopes for, if not to make the attempt?
Crossing the finish line, I was so emotional. I remember seeing the finish line. It was on Broadway by the Horton Plaza back then. And I remember coming up to it, and the moment I could see it, I started crying and just thinking, oh my God, I've really done this. And I thought, don't lose it now, you still got to get down that street there.
Running the marathon, not ever giving up and not throwing in the towel, I could just about accomplish anything that I set my mind to. And one of those was to go back to school and get my degree. That marathon solidified something that I never knew really existed, and that was determination and a self-belief system.
Yeah, for me, completing a marathon was probably something that would help me because I wasn't an athlete as a kid. And I think it just gave me the confidence to saying, yes, you can take on anything, you know, you could do anything.
What I think I was most proud of, what I felt best about, was how we were able to work with Team in Training and have such a successful day for them. That money was actually used to create a drug that is used to manage lymphoma that my father is now using.
Ready, go.
I just see that people have a dream. And one of my favorite sayings is, you do not have to be asleep to have that dream. And so what sustains me and what makes me the most proud is that I was a part. I'm not the one that did it, but I was a part of that journey to achieve that dream. And that's what brings me back every year.
When you see that starting line, you can't tell the Republican from the Democrat, the Jew from the Gentile from the Muslim. You can't tell anything about them. They're stripped down to their bare essentials. And it's just point A to point B. How fast can you get there? Can you get there? You really introduce a part of yourself to another part of yourself that you never knew existed, and it opens up life to so many people. But you look back at the whole process, and it's, I didn't think I can do it, then I did do it. What else don't I think I can do?